Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending, of course, upon what part of the world you're joining us from today. And welcome to our AU Virtual 2010 Primer webcast. I'm Donnie Gladfelter, your AU Virtual host. And for me, at least, it's incredibly hard to believe that in less than a week, Autodesk University 2010 will be underway. And of course, with the start of Autodesk University 2010, we'll be beginning our live broadcast from Mandalay Bay Casino and Resort in the fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And so ahead of that kickoff, we wanted to share with you some of the exciting things that we have planned for this year's AU virtual event. And so throughout today's webcast, I'll be sharing some of those very exciting additions along with some insider tips that will certainly help you get the most out of your AU virtual experience. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into our content today and see some of these fabulous additions. As someone who has both attended and spoken at Autodesk University for several years now, it goes without saying that I've gained a lot from the conference over the years. Therefore, when Autodesk approached me about sharing some of those experiences as the AU virtual host, my answer was an enthusiastic yes. Now, the many hats I wear throughout the year, such as blogger at thecadgeek.com, author of the book and Autodesk official training guide, AutoCAD No Experience Required, and certainly as a trainer and business development manager at Autodesk's Reseller of the Year, CAD Microsystems, I get to interact with many Autodesk product users such as yourself throughout the year. So especially as the conference begins next week, I'll be using those experiences to bring some excellent content straight from the show floor to your desktop as your AU virtual host. So what are some of the things you can expect as an AU virtual attendee? Well, the short answer to that question is simple, and it ties directly into this year's conference theme, the power of the possible. With AU Virtual, you quite literally get a front row seat to all things AU. From the industry keynotes to roundtable discussions, even industry news, and exclusive to AU Virtual interviews, you get a front row seat to all of it. Now, in addition to all of that, our AU Virtual Conference Center, which we'll explore here in a moment, features several networking tools that will allow you to connect with others in your industry, interact with exhibitors in our virtual exhibit hall, and more. So all of that is included in what we like to call our AU Virtual Standard Pass, which is free to anyone who wishes to sign up for and participate in AU Virtual. Now, for individuals who might want to take things a step further and truly take advantage of everything AU Virtual has to offer, there's also a Premier Pass available. So for less than $140 US, you'll get access to everything the Standard Pass has to offer, plus 200 classes featuring live interactive Q&A during the conference, and with many of the classes being taught on-site in Vegas being recorded, as an AU Virtual Premier Pass holder, you'll also get access to another 350 plus classes through Autodesk University Online. Now, we're also very excited to welcome our Portuguese and Spanish-speaking friends to AU Virtual. And new for 2010 are several classes being presented in both Portuguese and Spanish. So our Premier Pass holding Portuguese and Spanish friends will enjoy several classes spoken and presented in their native language. So once again, for just $139 US, you get access to over 550 classes, 200 of which include live Q&A during the conference, exclusive access to both Portuguese and Spanish content, along with everything included in the Standard Pass, such as a front row seat to industry keynotes and more. So it's also worth mentioning that Autodesk subscription customers educators, and students can get an AU Virtual Premier Pass for free. You don't have to pay the $139. So in order to qualify for those free Premier classes, students and educators must be members of the Autodesk student community, and subscription customers will need to have their serial number or agreement/contract number available during registration. So if you're not an Autodesk subscription customer, student, or educator, don't worry. We've made upgrading to a Premier Pass very easy. All you need to do is point your browser to autodesk.com/AUV upgrade, so Autodesk University Virtual Upgrade, and from there you'll be able to upgrade from the Standard Pass to the Premier Pass. Regardless of the pass you choose, AU Virtual will be delivered straight to your desktop from the AU Virtual Conference Center. Now, most modern workstations are certainly more than capable of both loading and accessing the AU Virtual Conference Center. However, we do still recommend you run a very quick system check prior to the start of next week's conference. Now, in order to do that, I'm just going to point my browser to autodesk.com/virtual test. Now, when I do that, it's going to run a very quick system test, checking several components such as my browser, Flash version, Silverlight version, JavaScript, and screen resolution. Here under the test results section, if I have a column of green checkboxes or check marks, I am good to go. Now, speaking of system requirements, if you are attending AU Virtual from your office and your workplace routes internet traffic through a proxy server, there is a possibility you might have some trouble accessing content. Notice the note here at the bottom of the screen. It just simply says proxy servers may prevent you from accessing content. And if that happens to be you, you can just click on this link right here, and it will take you to a page outlining the issue and, really more importantly, giving you a solution so that you can indeed visit AU Virtual without any issues. Now, just in case you missed it, in order to run that system test, simply point your browser to autodesk.com/virtual test, and as you saw, it only takes a few moments to ensure that your computer is ready for AU Virtual. Now that I know my computer is up to the task of attending AU Virtual, let's go ahead and sign in to check out the AU Virtual Conference Center. Now, once again, just in case I haven't already registered for AU Virtual, I can do that from this page here with the Register Now for AU Virtual 2010. But since I'm already registered, I'm going to use the sign-in link that we find here in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And my credentials are already saved, so I'm just going to sign in real quick. Now, after I sign in, I'll see this menu right here, and it displays some information related to my Autodesk University registration. Now, among the links that I have is one for AU Virtual, and with that, a question that we've received from several people is, how do I tell which AU Virtual Pass I have? Do I have Premier or do I have Standard? Well, on this menu, you should have a link that reads Enter AU Virtual. And whatever it says at the end, if it says Premier, then you have a Premier Pass. If you have Standard, then you have a Standard Pass. So however your link reads, just go ahead and click on that, and it will open up and load the AU Virtual Conference Center. Now, after the AU Virtual Conference Center loads, I'll be presented with several different options here inside of the lobby. Now, we're going to check out these, but the first we're going to take a look at is Keynotes. So I have to admit, Keynotes have always been one of my favorite parts about Autodesk University, especially the general session that gets the conference kicked off bright and early on the very first day. Now, as an AU Virtual attendee, you will have live access to these keynotes as they happen. So regardless if you have a Standard or Premier Pass, you'll be able to view these keynotes as they happen live in Las Vegas. So in order to access these keynotes, you'll just want to go ahead and click on the Keynotes room here, and it's going to open up the Autodesk Keynote Auditorium. Now, this list will be filled out with each and every one of the available keynotes, so certainly as the conference progresses, this list will grow. Now, as I mentioned, each of the keynotes will be broadcast live from Autodesk University, but what happens if people are sleeping in your area when these things happen live. Well, don't fear, because each and every one of the keynotes will be available on demand after it's broadcast. So you'll be able to come back here at your leisure and watch each and every one of the keynotes. So once again, next Tuesday morning, Autodesk University will kick off in high gear with the welcome address and general session led by Autodesk CEO Carl Bass and CTO Jeff Kowalski. Now, without giving away too many secrets, some very, very exciting things are planned for that keynote session. You certainly won't want to miss that one. Now, throughout the day on Tuesday, 3 additional keynotes will also broadcast, and they include the manufacturing, education, and finally the combined AutoCAD and media and entertainment keynote sessions. Following suit on Wednesday, you can look for the infrastructure and technology keynotes. It's also worth mentioning that the technology keynote will also be led by Autodesk CTO Jeff Kowalski, as he explores some very intriguing things related to technology in this world of design that we all live in. So once again, I can't emphasize enough, keynotes have always been one of my favorite parts of Autodesk University. Don't do yourself the injustice by missing any of them. So back inside of the lobby, the next room that I come across is entitled Product Clinics. Now, Product Clinics are brand new for AU 2010, and I think a very exciting component of the AU virtual experience. So like keynotes, if I just click on the room banner, I will be taken into the Product Clinic room. But right now, it's not really telling exactly what Product Clinics are all about. So to tell the story a little better, I'm going to flip back over to PowerPoint and describe exactly what you can expect to get out of these Product Clinics. In some ways, you might describe Product Clinics as the anti-lecture. So what you can expect with these is an expert-led 60-minute live webcast. But what makes these unique is that the speakers are not going to fill that entire time with a lecture. Instead, they're going to limit their presentations to maybe 15 to 45 minutes. Again, depending on the topic, the presentation length will vary. But as soon as that presentation ends, the speaker is quite literally going to turn the floor over to you and dedicate the rest of the time to Q&A. So you'll be free to ask the speaker anything you'd like, and he will, of course, respond to the group. So they become very, very conversational in nature. Now, while they are called product clinics, it should be noted that many of the sessions aren't so focused on product as they are industry. So you can certainly expect to get very strong insights to many aspects of many different industries. So a lot of value there. And it should also be noted that there's absolutely no limit on the number of attendees that can attend one of these product clinics. Now, just to give you an idea of what you can expect out of these product clinics. So here's a very short list of some of the sessions that will be offered through AU Virtual. And as you can probably tell from just the titles here, so piping in the point cloud, roundabout revolution, working with Inventor, that type of thing, while they're certainly going to touch on products, a lot of these are very strongly focused and strongly rooted in just industry and addressing some of the problems that many of you are facing in your various industries. So certainly check out the product clinics. They promise to be a very exciting component of the AU virtual experience. So out at Autodesk University, Autodesk sets up what they call lounges throughout the conference site. And I've always found them to be a very fun place just to sit down, relax for a moment in those very few moments that we all seem to have at AU. Chat with other people in your industry and that type of thing. And so we've brought a very similar concept here to AU Virtual in the next room that we're going to talk about, which is lounges. Now,